check.
As we head into exam season, I'm going to take you through a typical Sunday with me, showing you the 10 hours of revision I get up to. I start my day off the same as I do every single other day of the week, by getting up at 6:30 and doing my Anki flashcards. I find I'm most productive in the morning, so I try to utilize this by doing 2 to 3 hour study sessions, mainly because it just doesn't feel like that. I feel a lot more alert, I feel a lot more ready because I haven't been distracted by the rest of the day yet. Normally I fill up the first hour of my day doing my Anki cards, but I didn't have that many today, so I ended up just finishing some maths projectiles work, which was actually my last chapter of A-level maths. Yeah, that's it. We've finally gone through the whole course, and we had to self-teach that chapter because of the bank holidays. We missed the past like 2-3 weeks of maths lessons on a Monday. After wrapping up a pretty nice chapter, I just move on to making some Anki flashcards. Yeah, I know, I'm still in the process of making some chapters. I'm getting a lot of questions actually in my comments about, people asking if I could share my GCSE decks or if I could share my A-level decks. I don't have my GCSE decks anymore, and my A-level decks are just not complete. I think I want to finish them over the summer and then maybe release them for the new year 13, so the year 12s are going into year 13. I've mentioned this in previous videos though, I don't recommend using other people's cards. I recommend making your own. However, if you do want to use my cards, they will probably be available towards the end of the summer. I always rave about Anki. I mention it at least once every video because it's just such a great app. Helps me remember all the key points I need for a chapter, and then after I'm done reviewing my Anki cards, I can just go and do some exam questions, and I'm pretty much an expert on that chapter. The only thing with Anki is you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work for you. I'm sorry. Consistency with Anki is key.
Ring around the white collar crime. Get out my face, asking about my case, need toothpaste. Refreshment, monkey style nigga to death to death. And dope fiends still in their teens. Shook niggas turn witness. Real men's my.
Once I'm done with Anki, I just move on to doing some biology recombinant DNA practice questions. This was also my last chapter in biology, and now we finished the course. Very interesting chapter actually.
On doomsday, ever since the womb till I'm back where my brother went. That's what my tumor say. Right up on my government accumulate, either unmarked or engraved. Hey, who's to say? Doomsday, ever since the womb till I'm back to the essence. Read it off the tomb, either engraved or unmarked grave. Who's to say?
After that, I just moved on to a pack of questions all about the different mechanisms in chemistry and some questions to do with some earlier chapters in the organic chemistry course. I'll say organic is my weaker side in chemistry, so I'm just trying to focus on that more with my revision. Always focus on what you're bad at. I mean, that's kind of obvious, but don't waste time doing stuff you're good at.
This mic is like yin and yang, clang, crime don't pay. Listen, you, it's like me holding up the line at the kissing booth. I took her back to the truck, she was uncool, spitting all out the sunroof.
I had to finish off maths paper, so our school sets us 2 practice papers to do every week, so I had a paper 1 and 2. I just finished off the paper 1. Right now, making sure that you're being consistent is what's key. Make sure you're revising every day, make sure you're constantly reviewing content. Don't just review stuff you've done in year 2, obviously review stuff that you did last year. And if you're doing your GCSEs, just make sure you're doing practice papers that literally reuse the same questions every single year. So if you're staying on top of it, you'll be fine. The last bit of my day was me just reviewing and finishing off some chapter 16 biology flashcards. So this chapter is all about homeostasis. Some of the harder parts of that chapter is the kidney stuff, describing the structure of the nephron, describing the structure of the kidney, being able to describe how things like ultrafiltration occurs and the balance of the sodium ions and the loop of Henle, and how water can move out the collecting duct. There's a lot to learn, and there's some very specific things. And I feel like a lot of the process are just major step processes, so you have to be really careful what you put on the flashcard. Otherwise, you'll just end up writing way too much. I know everything seems like a ton of work now, and it's just a lot of stress, and it's so much easier to just not do any work at all. Think about how happy you'll be on results day when you get into the university of your choice, or you get to go to the sixth form of your choice and do the subjects that you want. That work is going to pay off. If you're wondering, I can't focus, how do you focus for so long on Udoka, or how are you able to, do a 10-hour study day? I would just say minimize distractions as much as possible. Make it as difficult as possible to get distracted. More resistance to a task, the less likely you are to do it. The same goes the other way. If you're making it difficult for yourself to study by not having anything organized, not knowing what you're supposed to do, then you're not going to want to study. But if you have your phone right next to you while you're studying, it's going to be very easy to just, see notifications, go on social media, start scrolling through YouTube and TikTok. Make it as hard as possible for yourself to get distracted, is what I'm saying. If you really just can't do any work, just start with 5 minutes. Say to yourself, I'm going to do 5 minutes. I use the technique to read more. If you want to read more, just say, okay, I'm going to read 1 page a day. Like, who can't read 1 page a day? Who can't sit there for 5 minutes and do work? No one. So just sit there for 5 minutes, do some work, and you'll realize, oh, I can actually revise for longer than 5 minutes. This is a great start, and from there you can build it up. You don't just start doing 10-hour study days one day. It takes time, it takes practice. Hi everyone, I'm done. I have finished my 9-hour day. I'm like decently tired. Thing is, I haven't revised 9 hours in a day since I want to say the last 9-hour real time I made. So if you watch that, congratulations, you're an OG. But I haven't done like a 9-hour day since then. So, but I don't feel as bad as I did after that day. I feel like I'm ready to do like another 9 hours tomorrow. So now we'll see how it goes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Go check out the real time study with me if you want to follow this whole day in real time and study along with me. I'll link it somewhere up here. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a productive week.